This is my second video log. Now, I did one yesterday. I won't be doing one every day, but this is just the start of this brand new website. So there's quite a lot to get through, and there's probably a lot of people, well, obviously there are a lot of people out there who haven't seen me before and don't know anything about me. Now, I've got a YouTube channel set up and it's been going for about 4 or 5 years. And if you click on the website, you'll see the link to the YouTube channel. So there's the YouTube channel here, a link at the bottom. And I've got a couple of thousand subscribers. You know, I've got hundreds of videos, 600 or 700 videos. So it's not as if I've set the world of YouTube alight, but I've done okay, and I've been able to provide an awful lot of my course material which I produce for free. Now, originally when I started off, I wanted to just provide everything for free on YouTube, and I generated my courses and I created the playlists on YouTube, and it did okay, but I didn't get that many subscribers. But the main point is that I couldn't make any money out of it, and I needed to make money in order to survive, to allow me to make more videos and more content. So I decided to take the courses and then sell them online. So I sold most of my courses through a website called Udemy, which I've really enjoyed using. It's been an excellent experience there for me, putting the courses together. And I've put together, I think I've got about 16 or 17 courses. Now, the courses I put together, they're not like the courses that you could put, you know, some people put together 20 or 30 courses in a year. Now, it takes me about, on average, about 4 to 6 months to put together my courses. And in fact, the last course I did, which was Design a CPU 2, which you see just appearing here, it took me about, all in all, about 7.5 months, nearly 8 months to get it all together. Now, the reason for that is that my actual area that I'm really interested in is mathematics, but I have a kind of sideline on computer architecture. It's just a fun and interesting thing that I enjoy studying and learning about. So I'm not a professional in it in any sense, but I have studied a lot of it before, and I enjoy building up the circuits. So I've been able to put together a reasonably decent suite of courses. Now, my idea is, and this is what I'm still working towards, and I have been working towards it over the last few years, and I've just been building it up gradually. For me, there hasn't been any rush to do this. It's a fun and enjoyable thing to do. So I've built up the first course on design a CPU, and after I built that up, I decided I wanted to understand how a floating point unit works. So I have got another 3 courses there. One is on floating point numbers, so it's really the mathematics of floating point numbers. And there's another course on designing a floating point adder and subtractor. So these are 32-bit floating point units. And the other course was a floating point multiplier. And I'm finally working on the final course, which is the divider and square root. Now, this would take me a long time to do these floating point courses, and to be honest with you, they're not very popular. And I think they're not very popular because it's just a really kind of esoteric subject, and it's a kind of subject matter I think that a lot of people who I thought would have been interested in it in the area of, you know, computer scientists, I think they kind of push it to the side. They kind of think, well, that looks like a real mind fart. You know, it looks awkward and, you know, say difficult, but it's a real awkward thing to do right and get it perfect. And they think, well, someone's already done that. So that's been done in a box. So we can put that box away and I can just use that. So that's fair enough. There's nothing wrong with that. But I thought maybe more people would have been interested in that floating point unit stuff. But possibly whenever I take the floating point unit and I integrate it into the CPU, then the value of that will become a lot more apparent. So after doing the floating point unit courses, I went on to do the design a CPU too, and that's what I was working on this year. And I took out the hardwired control unit and designed in a mixed hardwired and microcoded control unit, added in some addressing modes. The instruction set is a lot more varied and a lot larger. Built an assembler in Python, and I'd never used Python before, so an assembler with 1500 lines or so of Python code. So that was a real big thing I had to do this year, and I learnt a lot doing it, and of course I learnt a lot of Python. So having built up that assembler, I then went on and I added on a keyboard and a screen and a little graphics unit. And at the moment here, the course for Design a CPU 2 is available, but I'm continually adding to it. So right now I'm designing a little graphics library for that, and I've had to stop because summer holidays and looking after children and going holidays myself and all that kind of thing. But now all the kids are back to school, so I can get back into it. So I'm going to, over the rest of this year, try and finish off and get the floating point division and square root course done, and try and employ the floating point unit into the CPU, and kind of finish off at that point. Now there will be one other course, but it's not really designing a CPU. It'll be looking at a compiler design. So it'll be taking our assembly language, which we've designed ourselves, and then building on top of that a high level language with a kind of semi-proper compiler. But I can't do that until I really spend a bit more time studying it myself. As I said, it's a really kind of it's a fun thing and interesting thing for me to do. I'm not a professional in any sense of the word, but I think I do provide a reasonable level of detail within the courses, and the courses on Design a CPU, they've sold really quite well. Now I do have the course for free on the website, so you check out if you check out my LinkedIn, or if you check out my YouTube channel, you'll see I've got Design a CPU course, the very first one. It's on for free, so you don't need to spend £10 on it. You can get it for absolutely nothing. So check that out. Now this is a little bit more of a rambling video. I didn't have any definite sense of where I was wanting to go with it. I just wanted to have a little chat just so you can get to see me and get to know the things I'm interested in and see that I am actually a normal person. Another thing I wanted to mention was that of course I, as you can tell, come from Scotland, so I'm trying to find a happy medium, or I have been trying to find a happy medium over the last few years, where I have to slow down and try to cut out the strong Scottish accent, because no one really wants to listen to someone they can't understand. But on the other side, if I try to speak more slowly and with a lot less pronounced accent, then the conversation becomes slow and a little bit stilted, and you don't really get to know much about me. Whereas if I go the other way and I start talking in my Scottish accent and start rambling, you don't understand. So I'm trying to find a little balance there that suits everybody. Now, once I've finished the suite of courses for the CPU, the main reason for doing this was that I'm interested in mathematics. So I'm interested in the taking mathematical concepts or ideas, generating the mathematics for it. Once the mathematics is generated, to actually coding it in an algorithmic sense. And from that coding in that algorithmic sense, I want to take the algorithm, which is a high-level language, which is a high-level language that we have produced. It's our own high-level language. And then to compile it through the compiler which we have created to an assembly language, the assembly language also which we have created, and the assembly language to run on a CPU, again, which we have also created. Everything, in effect, gets created from scratch. We don't accept anything. So if someone says to you, well, we want to run a simulation on a computer, well, the question is, what is a computer? Well, then we have to go and answer what a computer is. So in order to answer it, the best thing to do is to build it. So we build everything from scratch. And in fact, I've got a course there on CMOS circuit design as well. So that strips away another layer where we could think about taking the CPU and actually designing it in integrated circuit form in CMOS. And in fact, that's what I did for 7 years. I was an integrated circuit designer, so I have a bit more background in that kind of area. So that's the kind of concept or the ideas of what it is I like to do in the areas, broadly in the areas of mathematics, branching into computer science. But when it comes to computer science, it's not so much the programming or programming languages, it's more computer science in terms of architecture and the chip architecture. So it's a kind of engineering side of computer science. Okay, so it's kind of mathematics down into computer architecture. That's the sort of areas that I like to work in. And as an example, I'm putting together a graphics library for the Design a CPU 2 course. Now, in order to do that, we have to draw a line. So in order to draw a line, we have to pick particular pixels in a screen to ensure that the line actually looks like a line. Or equivalently, if you're going to draw a circle, you have to pick the particular pixels that you require in order to make a circular shape. Now, in order to do that, I'm using something called Bresenham's algorithm. So we generated a mathematical algorithm. I will describe the derivation of the algorithm and the mathematics. We will then take that and we will generate that algorithm in our own assembly language, because our assembly language is already built up within Design a CPU 2 course. And from that, we will be able to run that on our machine and draw lines. Not the most exciting thing, but it's a good start. And if once we know these basics, we can build on them and we can build something really quite nice and quite beautiful. Now, I've rambled on long enough. Hopefully this video has helped you understand a little bit about me and the kind of things that I'm interested in, and you know that I am actually a real person, and this site is being worked on in real time. So I put the first video out yesterday, this is the next video today, and I'm checking this site and also my email address every single day for any responses. So that's pretty much all there is for this video. A bit rambling, but that's it, all done, and I'll get you on the next video. Goodbye.